Welcome to Live in the Markets with Trader Nick. In this show, Nick will cover the latest market trends, whether they're rising or falling. Stick around to hear about trade ideas, latest news, and much more. Remember that trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Today's stream is made possible by our partners and sponsors. If you're looking for a new broker, trying to get funded, or looking for a trading community to join, consider checking out the links in the description below. By using these links, you'll get access to great products and be supporting the channel.
Welcome to my live streams where I take trades on real accounts, no nonsense, no fake MT4 profits. On my streams, you'll usually see me taking a look at software tools that we use to analyze the markets to try and get the latest market trends that are going on. We study things like the Commitment of Traders report, which shows us what institutional traders are buying and what they're selling. We look at seasonality to try and predict and find opportunities in the market based on historical data. Stay tuned for the second half of the stream where we'll bring in guests from all over the place to add commentary on what's going on in the markets. Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream, and Merry Christmas to you if you celebrate. If you don't, then hope you guys are looking forward to the new year. We've got an interesting stream here today because I actually have a trade that I want to get on, and I've been waiting for the live stream. Well, actually more so the market to actually open here in the US. I'm about to go long the S&P 500. And let me go ahead and we're just going to do this as we get started. What we do in these live streams, if you're new, we go through chart setups. I talk about trades that I'm in, things that I'm looking at myself. And we do all sorts of fun stuff. If you're new, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. I'm going to go long the S&P 500 here this morning as the market opens up. Bear with me for the first few minutes of the stream. I'm going to be picking up a position and I'm going to talk about why as we get started here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to essentially, I'm still new to Webull, so let me, or at least the execution on the desktop version of Webull, but I'm about to pick up this position. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the S&P 500. I like price pulling back to this support level, and for the potential of a Santa Claus rally, I am actually going to get long here. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go market. And what I'd like to do is the market open here. It should be. Hold on 1 minute. There it is. There it is. Okay. So we are just opening up here in the US. Price is coming down. So I'm going to look to get long with a market order. Let's see. Let's go. Okay. 100 shares, 38,000. So whoops, 100 shares of SPY. And I'm going to go ahead and put a stop loss price. Give me a second as I set up my stop loss here. So price, I want to see stop loss around 38.20, 38.20. Nope, we're going to go just below there. So we're going to go 38.15. 38.15 is where I'm going to go ahead and put a stop loss on this trade. 38.15. 381.50. Is that right? Am I doing something right? Hold on. Give me a second here. Yep. So I'm picking up the S&P 500 long. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to look at this as we get the open. Watching the open, we might actually be able to catch this zone as well, which might actually give me a little bit more room to be a little wider on this. Yeah, let's do this. So I wanted to pick up this, and it looks like very quickly before I took the trade even, price has moved against that area a little bit. So holding that support did not quite work out. I'm going to look to get long around 38. So 38, 37, where we currently sit. If I want to risk, and again, I can draw my fibs, do my technical analysis before I take the trade. So we're tagging the 50%. That looks healthy. 38.15 still seems decent. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to go long. We are going to do that. I'm just going to up the size, and we will go stop loss there. Go 200 on the quantity. And let's see, do I have enough on the account available for this? I guess we could just figure this out. It's a small risk. All right, we are in. All right. Did I do a calculation wrong? Hold on, let me make sure. $81. Sorry, guys. Webull is always a little bit more interactive for me. I have to pay attention to everything that I'm doing. So let me make sure I just get this right. Okay. So this is, yeah, 375. Yep. Okay. So I'm long. Thought process here is below the lows on the SPX 500. If I look at the daily chart even, we had a big run up, and my thought process is this: we're going into the week of Christmas, or this is the week before Christmas, and oftentimes in the market there is something called the Santa Claus rally. And if you're not familiar with the Santa Claus rally, it is not a surefire bet that the markets are going to go up this week, but it is basically the idea that during the week of Christmas or the week leading up to Christmas, we oftentimes see a positive rise the days leading up to it, right? And so, as you see price going into Christmas here, kind of pulling back, I'm going to go ahead and take a little long position. It is not a ginormous risk or anything. It's a very small risk with markets being very quiet. But yeah, I am basically picking up long position on the S&P 500 around the 50% retracement level here. I'm happy to take this small risk. And like I said, the idea being, if price is able to hold this zone after this pullback, yeah, it's a pretty quick sell-off. But if we're going to hold that concept of the Santa Claus rally at all, even this could be a nice opportunity just to get long and to hold on to the S&P 500. So something I'm looking to do. We'll see if it can work out. Black screen. Can everybody see me? Is everything okay? So yeah, picked up long S&P 500. Vinayak, thank you very much. Hey, Nick, how to be confident in your trading strategy while you're facing losing streaks? And do you think life management affects your trading? Good question. So, yes, what's going on in your real life can totally impact your trading. I highly recommend that if you're struggling mentally, if you're struggling with relationship trauma, if you're struggling with all sorts of stuff. I'm not a psychologist, but I can tell you that from my own personal experience, you can definitely bring that stuff into your trading, and it's not worth doing. If you're facing struggle with your losing, like trading losing streaks, hey, that happens to everybody. And the only solution I can give you that's going to give you confidence, at least for what works for me, is to spend more time back testing and understanding what is an appropriate expectation for losing streaks that could occur on your trading account. Okay. It is very, very important not to underestimate that. So let me just get everything situated with this trade. So I need to also mimic the trade in my second account. Give me 1 second. And then I'm going to send this trade out to members. So let me get this right. So stop order is at 3753. 3753. So it's a bit of a wide stop loss on this one. And let me make sure I just get this sent out to members. And I'm going to take a screenshot so I can share that as well. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Screenshot is there. Thank you again for the donation. I really appreciate that. Okay, so now let's do our markups together. So every time I take a trade, I share it with inside of our Discord community. If you are not already inside of our Discord community, it is something available. We have of course, a paid version and a free version of our Discord channel. If you want to try out the free Discord, here it is. It just got dropped in the chat. Thank you, Chandler, for doing that. If you guys would like to join the free Discord available, then you can click that link, fill out that form, and it will take you there. So I just got done writing that up. Let's think here. We'll go through the trade setup. Price pulling back on the open, tagging the 50%, 61.8% retracement areas. Small risk as markets are a bit quiet going into Christmas. Potential for Santa Claus rally. CPI peaking recently could lead to a softer Federal Reserve. Pull back to support. Stops below previous lows. All right, there we go. Trade is out there for those of you who are inside of the Discord. Just pull that up and you can look at that on your own screen if you'd like. Let me just get these embeds off the screen and we are good to go. So volatility also always picks up. If you guys are not familiar with the indices or stocks in general, the indices get very volatile on the open. You can actually see a lot of traders. In fact, I know some many day traders, but also even Forex traders that love to trade the New York session open, right? 9:30 a.m. You get these volatility spikes as the markets kind of get crazy. So how do you grow a $100 account? Suggest some risk management techniques. I'm blowing accounts. If you're blowing accounts, it's because your risk is too high. Many traders try and take 100 and turn it into 1,000. I think that's gambling. I think you're going to blow your money. I don't believe in that sort of trading. I believe in looking for slow and steady gains, and that truthfully, $100 is not enough to trade with. I know that for people in different countries and for places that don't have nearly the luxury of being in a first world country, I know that sounds arrogant, but I'm just telling you from the lot sizing, that many brokerages will use, even 0.01 on a $100 account doesn't allow you to manage risk properly. And that is the core to trading success that I have had, is in risk management. So I can't say, oh yeah, to trade a $100 account into $1,000, you just do this, this, and this. I don't do that. I don't know how to do that consistently. I don't believe in doing that consistently. I am all about slow and steady growth on larger capital basis. So what I would say is, instead of trading $100, either you have options that are not just trying to gamble your $100. In my opinion, you can either try and get funded. That's a very popular way that people try and do. They try and get funded with a prop firm. Other people will do what I did, which is you start small, but you continue to build income streams from other stuff, whether it be a job. I used to be a software engineer at a company and did that for a while. And before that, I had another software job. So I built up capital doing that. I started several businesses before I really began even trading. When I was, even 18, I had a landscaping business. So there's ways to hustle and make capital before you try and trade. I think it's very important to know the difference. Trying to gamble $100 is certainly a bad idea, in my opinion. So let's see. What do you think about traders shooting for 100% ROI per month? That is just pure gambling, in my opinion. Yeah. Anyways, the other one I was looking at this morning was gold. I was also looking at gold as a potential pickup, and it actually seems like it might be setting up for a move here as well. Gold at 1800. Ooh. Okay. When it rains, it pours, I guess. I like this also for a setup. I'm going to go ahead and get long gold as well today. This one is far trickier for me to line up, but let me try and do it anyways. Give me 1 second. So I am going to look to risk. I'm going to risk 0.4. I'm doing it on my Webull. Hold on. So gold actually 0.4% would be about here. 166.76. Okay. Another market order to go long gold. Let's see, how much do I have available on the account right now? Cash balance 7. Okay, so it's going to be a very small position, but I'm still going to take it. What are we looking at? Okay, yep. I'll take 40 shares long, stop loss at 166.74. Stop loss there. Buy gold. All right. In gold as well. Let me line that up on the Forex side as well. Going long current prices, 0.01. 0.4. 1792. All right, there it is. Sharing this with the group. Sorry guys, I know this is what streams look like when I take trades on camera. You guys let me know. Chandler, help me out with this. I'm trying to frantically do everything. Can you just put a poll on YouTube and just ask people, like, do you guys like when I do this on camera? Like, I know I could just do it off camera, like before the stream or after the stream. I don't like mean to just interrupt the entire stream with execution, but when I take trades, it does take me a few minutes to do it and write everything up. So just do a poll on YouTube if you can. That'd be awesome. All right, price polling back to the, let's get our screenshot in here as well. So we're looking for price to respect this area on gold. If it doesn't, I'm out of the trade very quickly. Let me get this set up. I'm gonna take screenshots. So I'm in the trade on my Webull account. I'm in the trade on my second account. I am just now doing the execution. And I apologize, I'm not reading the chat at all right now. This is, you know, I like every time I do this, I question whether or not I should do it on camera or not. Because I'm like, this completely is multitasking to the max. Okay, 17.99, so we're good. 61.8%, 61.8% retracement on the New York Open. Putting stops below structure, support, recent momentum. Stream taken on, trade taken on stream. Picture in there. Bam. Second trade. All good. All right, we are all set now. So we got our 2 trades open. And now I'm going to go look at you guys' poll results if we've got them. Oh, I'm telling you, man, this. I'm going to explain everything that just, because it was like a million things that just happened. So I apologize. Okay, you guys like that. Okay, good. Okay, 95% of you guys said yes. See, every time that happens, every time I start taking trades on stream, I get like frustrated because I'm like, there's no analysis going on. I'm just executing the trade. And now I can come back and explain everything that I'm doing. Let me just also say, I'm not here to give you trading signals. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your trading account. I'm here trading. This is what I do. This is my job, right? As part of my job, I execute trades. I show up, I take trades that's set up. And I want to talk about that because you guys who are the regulars in the chat right now, if you're a regular, say me in the chat, like if you tune in on a regular basis, like if you've been here the last couple of days, you already know I have been incredibly, or at least trying to the best of my ability, been incredibly patient this week, like no setups, no nothing. And suddenly 2 setups back to back right there that we've been talking about. I've been wanting to buy the S&P on a pullback. I've been wanting to buy gold on a pullback. Okay, what's up, regulars? Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the responses. I apologize to everybody in the chat. I just completely ignored chat for the last 5 minutes as I read over stuff. But yeah, no, I'm in the trades. Ben says transparent. Thank you. No fake stuff. No nonsense. No nothing. Real brokers, US regulated brokers, no nonsense. I mean, I want you guys to know that because it's important. I'm not giving free signals. If you guys, so I'm taking trades, but what that means is if you see me take a trade, you don't know how I manage the trade. So I'll go through what I just did. So S&P 500, right? I went long around the 50, so I'm floating a little negative. Not the perfect entry, but for me, entries are here or there. My stop loss is wide on this one. This is more of a higher time frame swing trade, possibly going into the new year. So, you know, this is kind of like a short term, should hold this level. And if it doesn't, I'll just be out of the trade pretty quick. And gold, looking at gold here, price has been in a lot of momentum. Here's your 4-hour chart, big pushes to the upside, right? You have these ginormous pushes, pullbacks, pushes, pullbacks, pushes. And today with this pullback, I'm going to pick it up here. I'm going to go long with a stop loss in place. If I lose on this trade, losing would be identified by a break of the 61.8. If things come down, that's why my stop loss is at 1775. Is that what I said? Let me make sure I'm correct about that. 1792. I apologize. So 1792. So we could draw this up. I'll show you what my trade looks like. We got that 61.8. 1792 is where we currently have stops in place. So 1792 on the dot there. And then looking for a continuation. Now, I do not have a take profit on my trade. Oftentimes when people see me taking trades, they're like, hey, where's the take profit? I don't use one. So what I do is I trail stops. So for example, if this market starts trending higher and we put in a higher low and another higher low and another higher low and another higher low, what I will do is the yellow line is my stop loss. Okay. My stop loss starts here. It then gets ratcheted up each time we break structure and continue higher. I trail stops. This is not the Holy Grail. Nothing that I do is the Holy Grail. No trading is the Holy Grail. If you guys want real trading, then keep coming back to live streams because we don't mess around. This is real stuff. And no strategy is perfect. Trailing stops stink sometimes. Sometimes, you know, the market does this, and it comes back, tags you out, then does this. Or it tags you out on the second run and then does this, and you miss a portion of the move. But what trailing stops do allow you to do is they allow you to occasionally catch massive one-sided runs. For example, like if you were trading gold and you had a trailing stop on this move, let's say you caught this. Let's just imagine price comes up and you're holding, price pivots, shoots up again. At this point, I trail stops, I lock in some profit. Consolidation, shoots up again. Awesome. Trail that stop up to here. Price continues, right? Broke the highs, trail that stop up here. And then on this break, you're out. But instead of just capturing like this move, we caught this move, right? And that's the power of trailing stops that I love and that I use in my own trading. So with today, my thought process on gold is I've got to buy at the 61.8. If the 61.8 breaks, I'll be out of that for a small loss. So there you go. Amin is spamming the chat with, you don't wait for confirmations as 0.5% or 0.3% or 0.6% retracements. You take trades like candles, engulfing, morning stars, etc. Okay, so Amin, here's the thing, right? Everybody has their strategy. There's not one way to be successful when it comes to trading. And if you place all of your emphasis on the technicals, I think that that's a tough way to go as well. Do you have any advice for using the edge finder for reversal trades? Colin, that's an interesting concept. Most of the time, the edge finder does tend to help with swing trade trends. But if you're a day trader, let's see if we can find an example, because that's a great question. Let's say we're looking at USD CAD. CAD on the 1 hour. Okay, yeah. Check this out, Colin. So using the edge finder with reversal trading. Let's say that you're looking at the dollar CAD, and on the 1 hour chart, you're seeing something like this, right? Little downtrend action, right? And let's say that you're trying to use the edge finder for reversal trades, and you say, okay, well, the edge finder has USD CAD as a possible buy, but the technicals look bearish. So I don't want to be buying it on the way down, but it breaks out. And with confirmation from the edge finder, maybe that helps you get long, right? Does that make sense? So the edge finder doesn't, of course, it's not a signal generator. It doesn't just tell you what to do with your trading, right? It just gives you a bias. So let's say USD CAD, generally speaking, is considered a buy by the edge finder, and you're looking for a reversal trade. So you're saying, okay, down, 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 lower highs. Yeah, this is bearish structure, but then you get the break and close outside of that. And with that confirmation, you say, okay, well, also the edge finder looks nice. And maybe you make a decision to make a trade, right? That's how I would use the edge finder with reversals. And I actually have done that in the past where, the trend is to the downside, but then we break out the other way. And then I join that new trend or that reversal, however you'd like to define it. So, yeah. No problem, Amin. Or Aman. I apologize if I said your name wrong. Let's see. So on the gold side of things, part of my thought process with gold is that this is sort of a momentum play, because gold I don't actually love for like a super long term or like a swing trade per se. This is not a day trade either, but it is a short-term bounce and not something I'm fully committed to. So what I mean by that is like, okay, we tagged that 61.8, nice technical setup. It's mostly just a technical move. If it follows through to the upside, then great. But if it breaks this level, I will be out of that trade very, very quick. Same thing with the S&P 500. Both of those trades, I'm not necessarily super, all in on by any means. I'm never going all in with trades. But I'm just going to be reactive to what happens. As always, a big thing about trading, I think that many new traders to make this mistake, I certainly did when I was new, is like putting so much ego into their trade. Like I said, the 61.8% is where I want to buy it. And when it breaks, right, a new trader would just be, their ego is hit. If this breaks, my ego will not be hit, because that just means that it didn't work out. It doesn't mean, I'm an idiot and I didn't see the clear, the markets are hard. Everybody struggles. Like none of us just have it easy in the markets. Absolutely none of us. You might think so, but just keep trading long enough. Every single person struggles with markets. It's not an easy thing to pick the perfect spot. Of course, I like this setup. I think it has a good shot of being a profitable trade. That's why I took it. But my ego won't be shot if this thing breaks underneath, because again, it's not about this trade. I say this often. It's not about this trade. It's about the next 1,000 trades that you take and how you perform over the long term. It's very, very important to make that distinction. Chris, yes, good point. Edge finder, when it comes to gold, does not have a super strong fundamental bias, but from a seasonality standpoint, Chris, you're dead on. Check this out. We talked about this recently, but if you look at gold, it's just underneath the buy category. It's very close. But one thing that I really like about gold is that look at the months of December, the months of January, and the months of February. And what we are looking at here is seasonality. Seasonality is the study of how assets generally tend to perform during a particular month, week, day of the year. Okay. And so right now, what we're looking at is gold seasonality tends to be positive during the month of December, tends to be positive during the month of January, tends to be positive during the month of February. And if we're able to catch a little bit of a runner on these trades, and maybe in part due to some seasonality that comes into play, it could be very interesting to watch. Again, this is a historical pattern based off the last 10 years. What tends to happen? The red line is the last 5 years. You can see what has tended to happen. And it's an interesting little study there that we can apply to our trading. And gold seems to be holding the 61.8. It's too soon to call it by any means. But if we're able to come back and maybe even retest the highs at some point, I'd consider this trade a major win. So we'll just see. So yeah. Very, very nice pullback, I would say, in a nice overall uptrend. So we'll take it. And so, guys, that's going to wrap up my stream. Don't go anywhere. We have another person taking over the stream. We're going to run a little short intro to Mikko. If you don't already follow Mikko, check him out on YouTube. He has a great channel. He's a very technical trader, which I think a lot of you guys might really like. He is worth a listen. So stick around right after this, and you're going to get to hang out with Mikko. And see you next time.
Remember to check the description below if you're looking for a trading community to join.
Okay, what is up, people? What is up? How are you doing? I hope everyone is doing good. I'm currently from a different location. I'm actually on holiday, so that's where the background is a little bit different today. But we're here still with the stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Thank you so much for having me back on the stream. Like always, guys, I'll go through a bunch of pairs that I'm looking at on my watch list. If there's a certain pair you're looking at, want to share some analysis or ask any questions, leave it down in the chat and I'll be sure to answer you guys. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. So yeah, the few pairs I'm looking at, AUSD is at the top of the watch list for me. I was speaking a bit on this one on my stream earlier today, but for this one, it was looking like potentially price is breaking above this high, but I was telling my guys, it looks like potentially could be having a fake out because I'm looking at a lot more downside for USD. For you guys that don't know, I'm a bit more of an intra-week, a bit more of a swing trader, so I do hold my trades for a little bit of a while if I can. If not, I'll exit early. But AUSD, I'll be monitoring this one for the past few days, couple of weeks, looking for the next major lower high to form. For AUSD, we've got the high over here, 2, and potentially a third one over there. So if this is going to be the next lower high, what I expect to happen is another swing to the downside. Very, very simple. Just following structure. The market's making lower highs and lower lows. I expect the market to reach back to the prior low or the prior high, and then potentially make some new highs if the trend wants to continue. So AUSD, I'm looking at a big push down into this level here at 0.62. Again, daily time frame. It's going to take some while. I'm not planning to take one trade, just see it through the whole kind of span. I'll probably be taking multiple trades on the way down. But yeah, AUSD for me is looking very, very nice for some shorts. You can see on the daily time frame real quick. Just zoom in. You can see all these wicks on the daily time frame. The market is really, really trying to rally to the upside. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks here to the upside. Well, currently 5 wicks because this is the current daily candle, which closes in 6 hours and 56 minutes. So it might look different upon candle closure, but for now, so far, looks like we've got a big wick to the upside. And for me, this looks like the market may be printing a lower high on the 4H time frame, which is this high over here. So as you can see on the left, we've got high. Let me just move that. So we've got the higher there on the left, new high. Now potentially the first lower high. So I'm looking at price giving us a big move all the way back to the downside. So if I can get a retest of this level here, I will be looking to go short, or retest of the high up there. It doesn't really matter. I will be looking to go short on AUSD and looking for a big swing. But my main target points will obviously be that prior low over there, that prior low over there, and just kind of slowly working the way down. I'm not trying to do a whole move in one go, because again, I could be wrong. The market could actually go higher. So I don't want to leave all of that pips on the table there. So I want to be taking profit. Hence why I'm looking to see if I can get 2 or 3 trades on the way down. But this is where I'll be targeting if I can get into a trade around there, and then so on and so forth. You've got the high over there, got a low there, low, and all the way down to 0.62. So yeah, AUSD for me is looking like a really good opportunity for the next coming weeks. I hope you can see some more downside for that one. AUJPY as well, looking at some shorts for this one, very similar to AUSD, AUSD, AUJPY, very similar pairs. So, I mean, they have been kind of out of sync for the past kind of year, because obviously JPY has been crazy weak, but normally they're quite in sync, and they normally do move the same way. So yeah, I'm looking at AUJPY coming back to retest this prior high here. We had a really big breakout a few months ago, back in March, quite a long time ago. Big breakout here, no retest. I'm looking for us to go and get that retest down there at 86. We'll call it 86. I said I was looking for a retest of this level, but I highly doubt the market's going to get a retest at that level. The market is looking pretty bearish right now. A lot of momentum present in the market, so I doubt we'll see a pullback into 91. If we do, fantastic. Great risk to reward, great place to enter the trade. But I'm not sure we'll get a pullback that far. So I'm looking to see if we can create some resistance here. The market is stalled here. It looks like it's shifting bearish. So if you can come back and retap that area, I'll look for a double top pattern here to short it back down into those lows. First target being 87, which is that low that price just created. So if I get a second test of that level, I will short, because there's no real level to trade from my strategy anyway. So I'm kind of just in the open a little bit. So 89, if I can come and get a retest of that level, I'll look to short. If not, 91 as well. I'll look to see if I can get some entries for that. But yeah, shorts for me is what I'm looking at for JPY. But yeah, what are you guys looking at? Where am I in the chat? Hey Moch, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. How is everyone? Hope everyone is doing good. Hello. I mean, I'm on my laptop right now, so I have to flick through screens. Back to the chat, back to the chart. So do bear with me, but I'll be sure to try and answer all your questions. Gold is going up. I will take a look at gold. I haven't actually really been focusing on gold too much, but we'll take a look at gold. Hey Rafael, welcome to the stream. US30, of course, we'll take a look, no problem. Jonathan, kind of nervous since this is my very first trade. Very first trade. Wow, that is. I don't remember my very first trade. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it's a little big stepping stone. Much more to come. Yeah, sure. If you are enjoying the content here, be sure to go check out my channel. I'm pretty sure A1 Trading Nick have left a link to that, so feel free to go and check it out. But yeah, I'll go take a look at US30 and gold, and I'll take a look at oil as well. AUSD, pound USD, no problem. Gold, NZDUSD, okay. We'll take a look at those pairs. So I'll start with gold. Where is gold? Okay, so gold, what's going on here? Looking a little bit bearish there, seeing some downside. We have seen a bit of strength in the dollar, as you can see, a little bit of strength, and a lot of dollar pairs have been reacting to that. Another dollar pair, gold, seeing some downside momentum. And on the stream, on my stream, we're talking about potentially some retracement for gold, because reason being, we do have this wonderful bullish structure. The market is creating higher highs and higher lows. But recently, we've just seen a really nice push to the upside back into the resistance here. You can see every time we do see some new highs, market comes straight back down. New highs, market comes straight back down. So again, looking for some retracement back to the downside. But again, the shorts were always going to be short-lived, because this is still a very bullish market, as you can see, with the higher highs and higher lows. Therefore, this would be your first target, and maybe this area here as well, because you don't really want to be pushing the trade past that. So now that gold's coming back into this area, there could be some buys to the upside. It's looking a little bit corrective, so I'm a little bit skeptical how far those buys could go. If the market does respect this area, then you got a pretty obvious target back to that consolidation up there, which would be a nice place to secure some profit or manage the trade, or whatever you guys do to manage your trades. But yeah, the market's a little bit corrected now, and we're still kind of rejecting this daily area here on the left, which is why I'm a little bit skeptical for gold, because I do think gold can see some more upside with this bullish structure, but we're having a hard time breaking through this resistance here, which is the only reason why I'm not really looking to buy gold yet. I'm waiting to see if gold will actually reject this level and actually come down or break through, and then I'll look for the retest to go long. So right now, gold is kind of doing a little bit of a dance for me on top of this level here. Therefore, I don't really have a clear-cut bias. Speaking to the mic a little bit now then. I don't really have a clear-cut bias right now for gold. So as a result, I'm backing away from gold a little bit. Like I said, there could be some short-term buys back into that level. Maybe price might rally straight through. Who knows? But it's just very, very corrective. And we're seeing a lot of bearish momentum here, which is giving me the heebie-jeebies with buying gold. And I'm actually looking for some more dollar strength as well. So that kind of goes against my bias for that move. So yeah, gold for me, some short-term buys at 17.96. But yeah, after that, it's up to gold really. We could rebound on 18.10, come straight back below. I mean 18.13. If you do clear it, happy days. If not, you probably want to start looking to secure some profit around those areas. But yeah, some short-term buys, but my clear-cut bias for gold is not quite there yet. So I'm waiting for some more price action before I start looking to trade it personally. So yeah, hopefully that has made some sense on gold. I'll take a look at, you had a bunch of pairs, AUSD, pound USD, NZDUSD. I will take a look. Okay, US 30, I'll go take a look first since I did request that a while ago. So yeah, US 30 looking bearish again, kind of playing into that dollar strength kind of idea. And yeah, I look at US 30 and I think we could be in for a really, really big collapse. If my analysis serves me well, I do think we could be in for a really, really big drop for US 30 back down to these areas here. You can see the market has been bearish for quite some time, ever since we made this high back in last year. Actually not last year, early this year, January. The market's been very consistent with these lower highs. Recently, however, we have taken out those highs here on the left. We've just about poked through them, but the market's climbed back below it and respects it quite well. So for me, this is just like a big double top. If the market rallied through this level, then yeah, I'll go bullish on the indices and US 30 in particular, but we failed to break through. Now we've broken through the consolidation, and now it looks like we're getting a very successful retest of that level. So if this is going to be another lower high, what do we expect? The market to revisit the price swing low, which is all the way back down there at 29K. So from my books, from my analysis, it could be a big bloodbath for US 30. If we break back inside the range, so inside this area, that's when I'll back away and let US 30 do its thing, because at that point, we might actually go bullish. But right now, we respect the range pretty well. So I do think US 30 has a lot of downside to it. Obvious targets have to be that prior low there, because we could respect that again, double bottom and start heading up. So that's probably where you're going to look to secure some profit, at least 32,553. But if we break through that, yeah, I do think we've got a bit of a bearish trend on our hands, and we could be seeing a little bit of this happen back down to those lows, and maybe even further. That'll be up to US 30 and the indices. But I'll be looking at the other indices as well on my streams. US 100, again, looking at some more downside. This one didn't have the perfect retest of this level. US 30 did. US 500 and EVA didn't have that perfect retest of this level, unfortunately, but it's still the same idea, very, very similar markets. So they're all going to trend up or trend down pretty much at the same time. So no real need to trade all of them, just pick the best one and trade that one. But yeah, US 30 for me, for my analysis, I'm looking at a lot more downside. So overall 29K, but at first 32,541. Keep that in mind. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for US 30. Let me know if you guys are looking for something similar. AUSD, and I'll take a look at pound USD. USDCHF, okay, Christian, no problem. We'll take a look. Bunch of pairs here. Let me go through your USD, pound USD. I just did gold, so if you scroll back through the stream, you'll see it there. Okay, so I'll start with AUD since that one was requested first. Okay, so AUD NZD, let's go and take a look. Okay, so AUD, we were looking at this one a little bit on my stream earlier, and we had the breakout of this high here. Had the breakout of the high. So the market, the way I view the market is a lot in terms of structure. So the market's making lower lows, lower highs. I'm looking for my sells. I'm looking for my sells. And if the market's making high highs and high lows, I'm looking for buys. Very, very simple. And it filters out, just a lot of poor trades from going against the trend. Doesn't mean everything's perfect, but it just simplifies everything for me quite easily. So when I get onto the chart, I know exactly what I'm looking to do. And now the market is actually breaking through that structure, but we do have to be careful because the high time frames are still showing a lot of bearish momentum. So even though we have technically broken structure, the market could easily still go bearish, respecting maybe a higher over here. This consolidation, a lot of bears will be lurking to kind of short the market around that area. You can see brief period consolidation, big momentum to the downside. We could come into that area and actually flip bearish again. So for me, AUNZD, since we broke that structure, we might see something like this, higher low formation, push into that level, and then get a big dump to the downside. So if you're looking at shorting, I would stay aware of 1.075. If you're looking at going long, I'd probably say this area would be the best place to go long, but we might not retrace that far. Maybe a retest of that high could work as well, but I want price to pull back a little bit deeper. I do like my deeper pullbacks, 0.5 and onwards. So I do get the fib on here. So I ideally want it to be 0.5 and below. I don't really have my 0.382 there. I like having deeper pullbacks. So it's not that this level won't work and it won't hold, but I know in terms of risk reward and just generally in terms of taking trades, the deeper the pullback, I found the more successful it is. And also risk reward is obviously a lot better as well. If you're shorting higher up, there's a lot more pips to catch. So I prefer a deeper pullback. It's not that this level won't hold on the retest. It's just that I'll prefer to look from this level here. And from a short perspective, that consolidation will look good as well, around 1.075. So keep an eye on 1.075 and 1.055. Both really good areas to buy and sell from. But in the minute, at the moment, price in the middle of nowhere for me. So I wouldn't touch it right now until we get some areas of value for AUD. So I hope that has made sense on that one. I don't really trade AUD much. It's very, very choppy sometimes. I mean, in recent times it's been flying, falling actually, but normally it's quite corrective and there's not a lot of pips about it either. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of AUD, but it's still FX pair, still trades the same way. It's just a little bit choppy. Okay, so pound USD and NZDUSD, I'll take a look. I'll go through those pairs, and if some people still want to see gold, I'll look at gold after as well. So what do you think about SMC as a strategy? Does it have added advantages or not? What are your thoughts on liquidity grabbing in the market? Well, first of all, SMC is just another strategy to trade the market. A lot of people ask me this quite a lot, actually. My thoughts on SMC is just another strategy. Obviously, from first glance, it looks very, very detailed. Very, I don't want to say complicated, because if you understand, it's not complicated. Everything is complicated for someone who doesn't understand it, quite obviously. So it's a very, very detailed strategy, and if the strategy works, and there's nothing really to knock. We're all trying to have the same goal here. We're all trying to make profits here. If someone's going to use X, Y, Z, and someone's going to use A, B, C, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So as long as you can trade the SMC strategy and you understand it, you know how to trade it, then yeah, it's good. If you want to learn it, feel free to go learn it. Obviously, I don't really teach that. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. I've never really studied it, so I'm not too clued up on it. But it's just another strategy to trade the market. Obviously, it has its kind of what's the word? Kind of like it's bad kind of connotations, because you see people hitting like 1 to 627R, which is obviously very unrealistic. But yeah, it's just, you can choose the risk reward. If you want to aim for 1 to 3, you can aim for 1 to 3. But yeah, it's just another strategy. That's the way I see it. Okay, so pound USD, and I'll look at Euro USD and NZDUSD as well. Okay, so GBP USD. So like I said, I'm actually a dollar bull. The dollar's not really bullish yet. Dollar's not really bullish yet. It's just that I'm not really looking to sell dollar anymore. So yeah, with me, with the DXY, we've had a really big downside move, and now we're coming into this area here. So I'm looking for the DXY to find some strength here, a little bit of a bounce. It might not be anything crazy, a pushback to highs. It might just be some slight retracement to the upside, something like that, and then we come back down again. Or it could be a pushback to the highs, who knows? But coming to these areas, I'm not really looking to sell dollar anymore. It could still definitely fall, but it's just very, very corrective right now. So I'm actually personally waiting for something like this to happen on the DXY. A nice break to the upside, something like that, and they get a nice little high low going. And that's kind of what I'm looking for the DXY. It's not that that will happen. The DXY could easily have a deeper test of this monthly zone if it wants to, which is perfectly fine. But I'm looking for the market to do something like that for the DXY, just because I'm not really looking to sell anymore at these prices. So taking that information into pound USD, where is pound USD? Have I lost pound USD? It looks like I might know it's over there. Okay, so taking that information into pound USD, we're looking at this one to roll over a lot further. Again, pound USD, how's it been reacting to that monthly level? Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Because obviously on the monthly level, we've had that colossal level at 1.21 for pound USD, which we recently broke out on the monthly. Now also we're having a retest of this level. You know, pound USD has been exceptionally bullish over the past couple of months, but we haven't forgot the grand scheme of things, which is the market is still incredibly bearish for pound USD. We've recently seen some new all-time lows, so the market is still incredibly bearish in the grand scheme of things when we zoom out, look at the bigger picture. And now we're banging our heads on this resistance now. Where's support, term resistance? Obviously, this monthly candle hasn't closed yet. Still got 8 days and 7 hours, but it's reacting to the level. It's reacting to the level. So for me, the market for pound USD is just very, very corrective. And now it looks like it's breaking structure to the downside. So I'm actually looking at more downside for pound. My targets, you know, I'm looking at price coming to this level, which has kind of already done that, and coming to that prior low there as well. As for shorts, I would like to see another push to the upside into this kind of resistance up there. I mean, there were kind of some miniature lower highs here on the 4H time frame, so they would have been some nice shorts, maybe like the 30-minute or 15-minute, some of these areas here. But from a 4H perspective, I want to see a push into this zone here, 1.22, and then I move back down again, looking for that next kind of major lower high. You can see you've got the high 1, 2, 3, breaking structure through that low. Now I want to see the lower high and get a push to the downside. A bit of a head and shoulder, a weird head and shoulder pattern, something like that is what I'm after for pound USD. But yeah, it is to the downside. I'm looking at shorts only for pound USD, unless we create some new highs, then I'll back away. But we're coming to a very crucial point. It could be forming a major lower high. DXY is our key support. If I can see that kind of move, I'm looking for the DXY. I do think pound USD can follow and see some more downside. And these lows here will just be my targets for the trade for pound USD. And USD, something similar as well. Another dollar pair, looking at some downside for this one. You can see this one has broken through some key structure as well, so I'm really liking it as well. I think much is actually in a short for this one, looking very, very good. Nice 4H candle close there. And yeah, NZDUSD for me, coming back into the high, similar kind of price action to US30. If I flick to US30 real quick, you can see price came prior high over here, tried to break through it a few times, failed to do that. And then you can see the market is now falling to the downside. And that's kind of what I'm looking at for NZDUSD as well, to fall to the downside. And you know, if we see the trend continue, which is the higher time frame trend, I do think you see it's still very bearish. I still think we can see some more downside for this guy. So NZDUSD, next clear target, we've got this low here, and then we've got this low all the way down there. These are the daily targets. If we drop to the 4H, we can look at the lows here as targets as well. So we've got this wick low there. We've got this low here. So there's many places where you can look to take the trade to, depending on your risk rewards, how many pips you want to take per trade, time frames you're looking on, you know, whatnot. That's all up to you, how far you want to push the trade. But in terms of direction and the analysis behind NZDUSD, for me, I'm definitely a bear on it, unless we start taking out some highs up there. That's when I start to reconsider my analysis. But at the moment, it's still particularly bearish. I said earlier, I'm looking for something like this, another move to the upside, and then some sales. It might not happen. We could see the market just kind of fall over. It might come up to find some more sellers to take it back down, or it might just roll over. That's completely up to NZDUSD, but a test of this level would be very, very nice to short. And yes, full expect more downside for this one as well. Very similar to my analysis on the AUSD. Market to roll over as well. This one, I think we can get a nice little retest of that level, look for some more shorts. And I'll take a look at Euro USD as well. So yeah, Euro USD is the only kind of dollar pair which I'm kind of just backing away from because it's just very, very corrected, very tightly knit, not really giving me much good price action here compared to other dollar pairs. Other dollar pairs are looking a lot better, flowing a lot better, seeing a lot more momentum, whereas Euro USD is kind of just sideways, and it hasn't actually broken any structure as well. All the other pairs I'll be talking about, AU, NZDUSD, Pound USD, have all broken structure. This one, the price from low of this one is still over here. I want to see the market come and break through that and start giving me some new lows past that point. Right now, this could just be a correction to go bullish again. So for me, Euro USD is still a bullish market. Therefore, technically I would have to look for buys. But like I said, I'm a dollar bull right now, so I'm not really interested in buys. So yeah, for me, Euro USD, there's not much to do on this one. I have to admit, personally for me, I'm not really looking at Euro USD at all. There's just other dollar pairs that look a lot better. So maybe a breakout, a consolidation, a strong breakout, taking out those lows there as well. That could be something to consider, kind of giving us a bit of a head and shoulder pattern there as well. The left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder there as well. So that could be something there as well for Euro USD, but again, a lot needs to happen before that materializes. So yeah, Euro USD, I'm looking at sales. I'm not really interested in buying this pair. Very, very corrective, running up bullish momentum. It's giving signs of it's giving us signs of a market that is probably going to roll over pretty soon. So I'll be waiting to sell Euro USD, but right now, yeah, there's nothing to short in my opinion. Nothing to short. Maybe on the lower time frames, taking advantage of this range there, but nothing to short for me. On the monthly time frame, we got this big level here as well. So similar to Pound USD, really colossal level coming to retest now. Again, at a great pace, you could form a lower high too. So yeah, they do line up quite well, but the other dollar pairs look better for me anyway, from how I trade. So I'm not really looking at Euro like that. But hopefully that made sense. Okay, where are we? Mikko, do you have a Discord community? No, I do not. I do have a Telegram community, however. I do have a Telegram channel where I share my updates, but I do have a Telegram group chat where other people can discuss and talk about their personal trading as well. So I do have a Telegram community, but not a Discord. If you want to check that out, just go over to my channel and just go on my description of one of my videos and you'll see it there. But yeah, I do not have a Discord, just Telegram at the moment. No problem. May you live long too. NZDCAD, okay. NZDCAD, we'll take a look. That's actually pair I'm looking at too. What's your thoughts on Pound Yen? No problem. We'll take a look at Pound Yen. Hold a long-term sell in US30 at 33,450. Nice, nice. How far are you looking to take that trade, Rafael? How far are you looking to take that US30 short? I think Anus is in a short for the US30 as well. I'm not sure if Anus is actually on the stream. But yeah, he's pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's in a short as well. So yeah, how far are you looking to take this? Because there's a lot of mileage, but there's been some times where I've been in a situation like this, so I'm in a trade and it's looking good for price to go reach down those lows. But I'll probably say, out of the times that I've done that, probably about maybe only 40% of the time that price actually get to that kind of overall goal. Most of the time, price actually returns back to your entry price. So I would always say take profit down, take profit as price goes down, just to make sure you're balancing psychology and making sure you're always paying yourself. Obviously, when you hit the home run, it's great, but there's a chance price could come back and retest that area and then go down. So it's not 100%. So I would advise to take profit, but of course, trade your plan, trade your strategy, looking good. Hopefully, you can go and hit TP down there. Okay, so yeah, NZDCAD and Pound Yen, I'll take a look at it now. What are your thoughts on liquidity and the belief it causes stop loss to be triggered? Is that a main factor? Well, liquidity is needed for the market to move. So yeah, that's obviously a fact. Market moves from liquidity to liquidity. So But in terms of stop losses, obviously stop losses are liquidity as well. You know, people buying and selling. When stop losses are triggered, people are buying and selling depending on the direction they're trading in. So yes, you know, the market needs the liquidity to move, and obviously liquidity is normally above highs and lows of the market because that's where, you know, stop losses are. That's where normally orders are. So yes, that's needed, but it's nothing necessarily need to go crazy for, and start, you know, trying to work out a strategy around that. You know, as long as you trade, you know, sensibly, put your stop loss in the right places, you'll be fine. Give yourself a little buffer room, like I always do. I never put my stop loss right above my entry or right below my entry. It's always a little bit of wiggle room, a few pips to give myself some room. But it's nothing really you have to go crazy for. Sometimes trades will just hit stop loss and they'll go in your favor. You know, that's something you can't really avoid no matter what strategy you have, unless you just don't use an electronic stop loss. And obviously that could be a way around it, but you have to be very, very on top of your game to not use electronic stop loss. But if you do use electronic stop loss, there's kind of no way around it. Eventually, the market will take out a trade that goes in your favor. As long as you've got risk management, as long as you've got good risk rewards, it doesn't matter in the long run. Okay, so I'll take a look at gold as well, but first let me go on NZDCAD and pound yen. Okay, so NZDCAD, like I said, that's a pair I'm looking at for some sells. So far, the market is slowly chugging away to the downside, but I'm looking at a lot more downside for this one. Particularly the AUD and NZD pairs are looking pretty good for some shorts. A lot of them looking pretty good for some shorts. So yeah, I'm looking at NZDCAD coming back down. This is the monthly time frame, by the way. I'm looking at NZDCAD coming back down into this monthly level here, and get another retest of that, because you can see that the market is actually still pretty bearish. You know, the market's still creating lower lows, lower highs. You can see all these wick here. The market is trying to rally to the upside, but every time failing it, going back down again. This here could just be another wick for the market to head back down to the downside. So NZDCAD has been incredibly bullish, but I don't think that changed anything. I think the market is still bearish overall. Yes, it might come up a little bit higher, retest some resistance, but I do think we'll roll back over unless we break structure, of course. But I'm looking at a test of 0.828, and then if we break through that, obviously back down to those lows there. So NZDCAD for me, downside, I do want to see a bit of a pullback. We have recently broke some nice structure to the downside. As you can see, now we've got some lower lows and lower highs to go off. So everything's looking pretty bearish from a 4H perspective. So yeah, pull back into this area. That would be a really nice place to go short from. Just looking for the next lower high. But do whip out the old Fibonacci there as well. You can see we're coming into that 0.5, 0.618 area. I know we haven't really got the bottom just yet, but if that is the bottom, you know, this is a really nice place we can look to pull back into. And then from there, as well, look to position up some sells for another move to the downside, something like that. So yeah, looking at some short NZDCAD targets, we've got 0.83 there, but again, we'll probably look at these 4H areas as well. That would be important. Put a minus 0.27 extension there as well. So there's some confidence where we could potentially get a bounce around here. But yeah, NZDCAD for me is a very bearish market on the higher time frames, and so we're getting a reversal. So yeah, if I can get a nice rally into that, I will be looking to short it back down upon some confirmation. And then let's go take a look at pound yen. Okay, so I'll take a look at pound yen now. Again, another yen pair. So obviously yen pairs have been falling out of the sky. Well, they fell out of the sky. I haven't really done too much since then. They've been a little bit choppy, but yeah, very bearish here. Break to the downside. Yeah, pound yen is just a very corrective pair. You can see on the high time frames and particularly the weekly time frames, just very corrective. But looks like that trend could be coming to an end potentially. It's not really confirmed yet. There's no real key low that's been taken out, but the fact that we're having, you know, these big sell-offs here for pound yen, these big sell-offs tell me that the market's actually coming to, well, it's either going to reverse or it's going to take a deeper, you know, bigger pullback. It's either one or that one. But the fact that we're getting very frequent pullbacks, very impulsive pullbacks, is a clear sign that the market's having trouble continuing to the upside. And we've got some key lows we can look at as targets. We've got this low here. We've got this low over here as well. So that's kind of where I see pound yen heading towards. Right now, I'm not really looking to do too much with pound yen because I want to see some retracement for this one. Of course, ideally, retracement up there would be nice, but I doubt we'll get that move. I just want to see price pullback. You know, give me a pullback, maybe around the 162 area. But right now, there's not much to do. On the low time frames, we're looking at pound yen early on the low time frame. Yes, 50-minute, 30-minute, probably some nice sells with these lower highs here. But from a 4H perspective, which is where I look at the chart mostly, I do want to see a bit of an up move before joining this bearish trend here on the 4H at least. So yeah, I'm looking at 156 and 151 300 as targets. So that's where I see pound yen going. Those are my targets. That's the direction I see price going. Now I just want to see some healthy retracement. At the moment, nothing really obvious for me to short. The market could actually fall without actually having that retracement as well. So that there is definitely a possibility. But for me, it's a bearish market. Well, on the 4H at least, high time frames, it's very corrective. But for 4H, we've seen some lower lows and lower highs now. So I'm only going to look to sell pound yen until anything kind of changes here on the 4H. So yeah, more downside, but I want to see a pullback. Okay, gold, I'll take a look. Gold, we'll take a look. Thank you anyone trading for leaving the link. Feel free to check it out, guys, if you want to. Yeah, gold, we'll have a look. All the way down. Nice, Rafael. Nice. So yeah, make sure you take profit, because that is a long way down. It's a long way down there for US30. And make sure your mind's in check as well, because there's gonna be some pullbacks, gonna be some price going against you a little bit as well. So you do want to be able to make sure you're focused on the long-term goal, which is for price to get all the way back down to those lows. So when you get a pullback, you don't want to be in a situation, which I've been many times, where so you got a long-term target, price is going in your favor, and then you see quite a big pullback, and then you start to doubt yourself, start to doubt the analysis, and you're like, let me just close it and take the profit there. So you want to be able to see the trade through, and you have to have your mindset, focus on the end goal of what you expect from the trade. But taking profit along the way can help you kind of see out that long-term goal. But yeah, good luck with that one. It looks good. It looks good. I do favor price to get down there. So hopefully for your sake, you can see that. Yeah, so like I said, NZDCAD, I'm looking at some shorts for that one. It is on the watch list. I'm looking at some shorts for NZDCAD. Just need to see a pullback back up again. And then I'm looking at 0.83 overall for price to get back down there. Right now, it's a little bit corrective. It's broken some structures. So for me, I want to see a pullback, and then I can expect some more downside there for NZDCAD. But yeah, at the moment, it's at a very nice level. 0.83 is the monthly target I can see price getting towards. Other than that, there's not much to do for me other than wait for a pullback and just set an alert there and wait to see what happens if we get there. Because again, you don't necessarily have to pull back, but I wanted to pull back to short it. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for NZDCAD. And pound AUD as well. Didn't actually go over pound AUD because it's a pair that I'm looking at. I'm looking at shorting pound AUD upon the retest of this. Looks like we're just coming into the level now. So if you can get a successful retest of that, I'm looking at some shorts back down to this level. Reason being, pound AUD has a really hard time breaking through this resistance here. If I take that across, you can see you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to try and break the resistance. Each time the market fails, and now we've broken some structure here to the downside. So I'm looking for a retest for some shorts into that prior low there for pound AUD. So we are coming to the level now. Market's still a little bit too bullish. So I want to see some strong rejection around here, and then if I can get what I'm looking for, I'll look to go short. And we do have around 270 pips to the downside. Again, my stop loss could be like 70, 80 pips as well. So the risk reward looks decent. Just need to get that entry. And price breaks back inside that consolidation. So if price breaks back inside this level here, I'll just leave pound AUD alone, because I don't like trading inside consolidation. I like the breakouts of consolidation and retest. Yes, I'm all for that. But if price breaks inside the consolidation, I'm letting price do what it needs to do, because for me, my edge kind of disappears a little bit. Therefore, no real point in me trying to navigate inside that area. Price could actually be looking to break to the other side if it does break back in, and then I'll have to change my bias. So yeah, if we get a retest of 1.80162 around that level there, we'll look to short. If not, I'll leave price alone. NZDCAD looking for the retest of that structure there, 0.85, 0.86, 400, sorry, around there. AJPY looking for price to come back and retest 89, retest that level, giving the double top. I'll look at shorts back down to 86. And AUSD, well, AUSD is really pushing. I'm looking for a pullback into this area around 0.67228 and some sells, eventually all the way back to 0.62. So yeah, looking at some more downside for those pairs. Okay, I'll take a look at gold since a few people have been asking for gold. I'll take a look at it. Gold at 1996, think it will go up. Okay, we'll have a look. See, Euro JPY, Rob, no problemo. We'll take a look, no problemo. Okay, so gold. Okay, so gold. There we are. Okay, so yeah, gold. Like I said, I'm not really interested in gold. The reason being, gold is in a little bit of a tight place, a tight spot here. Right now, the market is currently bullish here on the 4H. You can see the higher highs and higher lows. So with this structure, I'm always going to be looking to buy the market. Always going to be looking to buy. However, I pick and choose the structures I want to trade. And gold, although it's giving me some good bullish structure, I don't like how it's reacting at that level there. The market's been respecting this level a few times, trying to break through, basically just having a hard time to break out. So I want to see a bit more price action breaking above this, maybe another strong daily candle closure, clearing this 1820 area, and then I'll look for the retest to go long. But right now, the gold is kind of making up its mind whether it's breaking out of this resistance down the left or respecting it. So therefore, I don't really want to go long against that until I have a clearer idea of what gold wants to do with that level. Right now, gold is in this, trying to get rid of this line there. There we go. Delete the level 2. Doesn't matter, we know it's there. Okay, so right now, gold is obviously bullish here. The higher highs and higher lows. The market's coming to a nice area where we could bounce to the upside. So early on the stream, I did say some short-term buys could look good for gold. The reason I say short-term is because we're still trading at that daily level. And we're also seeing a lot of bearish momentum here as the market's having a tough time to continue up. It's a little bit corrective now. So that's why I said some short-term buys. So I'm not too sure price will rally through. If it does, great. But for my analysis, I wouldn't hold on to those buys for too long. If they end up breaking here through 1820, then yeah, we could see a lot more upside. But I'm not too sure if we'll see it. Could be. I could be wrong, but I'm not too sure if we will. So yeah, I would say if looking at buying gold, keep an eye on this 1797 level, just around 1800. If we see a nice, sorry, there's some cars outside. If we see a nice rejection of this level, it could be some nice longs here for gold. Right now, the market is still particularly quite bearish and dropped to the 30 minutes, starting to stall a little bit there on the 30 minute. But for me, the way I trade, I always look for entry signals before entering trade. Obviously, it does kind of play into your risk reward a little bit because you're waiting for a candle. But I prefer to use candlesticks to enter rather than enter at the zone. It's disadvantageous because it means I leave a bit more on the table, but it helps me because some trades just break straight through the level, and I kind of miss out on those ones. But yeah, gold is is testing that level. If it does respect it, it's a nice rejection, nice bullish engulfing. That could be a nice signal to go long. And a push into 1815 is where I'll look to take profit there for gold. But if we break through some structure, that's when I'll flip bearish for gold and actually start looking for some lower highs to short. But we have to break through some structure, and that's where I'll just short gold. Where do you say you're looking for gold to come into? Gold at 1996, you think it will go up? Okay, so you're looking for gold all the way to 2K. Okay, let me look at the higher time frames. Okay, so gold could potentially go to 2K. It potentially could go to 2K, which is this area here. Again, the market is still very, very bullish on the higher time frames. So, yeah, I do expect price to eventually take out those highs and go further. But just will we retrace first? I think 2K is almost a given for gold. But we might do something like this first and then do it, or something like that. So yeah, I do think 1996 will be hit, but I just when it could be pretty soon, it could be a very long time. So with gold, looking at the high time frames, we do have this level here. I'd say if you can get a retest of that level and prove that we're actually holding above it, then yeah, I do think gold back up to 2K is quite likely and pretty soon as well. If gold starts breaking back underneath this, it could be game. Not game. It just means price could have a deeper retracement. So it will take a fair bit before we get back to 2K. So yeah, potentially to 2K, but I'm not seeing that quite right now. The market is a little bit corrective. If we're going to go hit 2K soon, you would like to see a lot more momentum, a lot more bullish momentum in the market. And right now, all this upside is just very, very corrective there. So I personally wouldn't look for such a swing trade just yet. But a retest of 1700, we could probably get those longs. So yeah, keep an eye on 1700 if you're looking for that big swing. But at the moment, I reckon gold is just a little bit too corrective for that big move just yet. But yeah, we have come to the end of the stream here, guys. So I'm pretty sure anyone trading have left a bunch of links to my channel. So go check it out if you have enjoyed my analysis. But yeah, the pairs I'm looking at: AUSD shorts, AUDY shorts, pound AUD shorts, and NZDCHF shorts as well. So a lot of sells. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming onto the stream, and thank you so much for anyone trading having me on the stream as well. They've left a link to my channel, so feel free to go and check it out if you want to. If you found the analysis useful. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the stream, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next one.
Thank you very much, Mikko. Yeah, guys, like he said, go subscribe to Mikko. I've left a link. There's one right there. It's one of the newest chats in the chat. So yeah, go subscribe to Mikko. Thanks for being on with us. And we actually have a new guest today. His name is Marco. You might know him from Marco's Trading Journey YouTube channel. I'll put his link in the chat too. We're going to bring him in right now. Thanks so much, Mikko. We'll see you next week.
No problem.
Hey, Marco, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. It's great to have you on the show. It's cool to have new people come on all the time, and we're glad that you're now part of that list.
Thank you for having me.
So for those of the people who stuck around, who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like what's like sort of trading do you do mostly?
Yeah, so basically I trade only on the 1 hour chart. I focus on only 6 Forex pairs, and it's a pure price action strategy. So basically no indicators, no drawings, only pure price action. And so that's kind of it. Those are the basics. I have been trading for about 2 years now. I'm funded with FTMO and trucking along. So trying to build that nice track record and trying to get more funded capital. And of course, I'm doing YouTube on trading. So basically, my channel is Marco's Trading Journey, if anyone is interested.
Yes, Marco's Trading Journey. I'll put a link to that in just a second. Actually, I'll do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Marco, if you would like to show us like some charts and stuff, there's a button down at the bottom that says Present, and that'll let you select what screen you want to show us, and I can put that up on the stream. And,
okay, great.
Yes.
So maybe you see this now?
Yep, there it is right there. And okay, you don't have to go the whole time. You can stop whenever you like. I'll be on the back end. Just say whenever you're good, just do a little outro and I'll click the little outro video. We'll be good to go.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, let's get started. Thank you. So hello guys. First I want to definitely thank A1 Trading for having me on, and today I will do my classic analysis. So basically 6 pairs, and those are the Euro US dollar, Euro JPY, Aussie US dollar, Aussie JPY, the pound, and the New Zealand Japanese yen. If anyone has any questions during the stream, just put them in the box. Of course, I will get to them a bit later. But first, I'm starting with EU. That's my classic pair to start with. So basically, this one, I'm trading only on the 1 hour chart, and this one is looking very, very range bound. So I'm definitely not seeing any potential to downside or potential to the upside. I'm just seeing it kind of stuck in this sideways channel box, and I'm waiting for a large impulse to the upside or a large impulse to the downside. So basically, I'm looking for a large momentum, and then I'm looking either for a flag or a break and retest. I use 2 entry types. That is, as I said, a flag, which is a classic flag, or a impulse and then a break and a retest. So I enter on a short right here. Only 2 entry types, and my main goal is to find momentum, as I am a momentum trader. So if I just zoom in on this a bit, you can just see there is no momentum to the upside or to the downside, very choppy price action. One key thing also to identify is huge wicks to the downside and huge wicks to the upside. If you take a look how the price looks with these huge wicks, definitely indicates to us a larger range. What we're looking for, well, we're basically looking for a large impulse. So something like this. You can see a nice clean move to the upside. Definitely has momentum to the upside and has some clear direction. That is what I want to see. Not a lot of wicks. So that's my cream of the crop trades, let's say. Okay, so let's get back to our most recent price action. Now, to be honest, this is very normal for November and December. Basically, in my backtesting, I have backtested the strategy for the last 5 years. And in my backtesting, I have found that November and December usually are really slow months. Basically, we get the range bound price action, not a lot of trends, and almost all of the trades I take end up being losses. So I'm a bit more careful, to be honest, especially in December. We know also that the banks are winding down, so the bankers are kind of closing shop, going on vacation. There is not a lot of news. Everyone is kind of preparing for Christmas, New Year's, normal stuff. What I would advise you is to be very careful, especially late December. Maybe be more patient and start trading in January. That's just my personal recommendation when the markets open up a bit. Okay, so moving on from EU, because it's pretty boring. I'm definitely not seeing anything. This euro and the Japanese yen is a bit more interesting. So we have got a large impulse to the downside. Now, to be honest, I don't look at any news. So I don't even incorporate news in the trading strategy. But I can identify with experience how a news candle looks like. Basically, this is a classic news candle. Really huge move. I believe it's around 400 pips. There was some news, as far as I heard, about Japanese central bank moving some sort of rates or something like that. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm trading pure price action. I don't care about news. I only care about the candles. So push down. I was waiting for it to continue. It did continue, but I did not get any sort of a good entry that I'm looking for. Instead, we kind of started to range around between the low and the high. So yeah, I do have these red lines. What I do, I wait for the price to break the low or the high. If it doesn't break the low or the high, then I classify it as a range bound price action. You can just see not a lot of movement to the upside, not a lot of movement to the downside. Basically, range bound price action with no potential for me to buy or sell. What I'm looking for maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, is of course a large push down, a nice flag or a break and retest, or a nice impulse to the upside, a flag or that break and retest. Again, on a flag, I enter here with a 12 pip stop loss. Another thing, I always use a fixed stop loss size. On almost all of the pairs, it's basically 12 pips. So always 12 pips, never change it on almost all of the pairs. So really simple stuff and easy to trade. Moving on, because as I said, this one looks the same as EU now, just ranging. We come to the Aussie US dollar. This for me has a lot of potential. I'm really liking this price action. You might be asking me, so what's the difference between this and the euro pairs? Well, for me, yes, we were stuck in a range, but we then kind of broke out of the range right here on the top, ascended, and then reversed to the downside with large momentum. When I say large momentum, I mean large momentum like this. So consecutive large red candles, not a lot of wicks, so conviction and some convincing price action to the downside. I like this ascending also. Why? Well, because on the lower time frames, what are the traders doing when they see a range? Well, usually they are buying the bottom of the range and they are selling the top of this range. So that means that these boxes are actually areas of liquidity. You can you can just picture it. So traders buying the bottom, maybe not at these exact spots, but maybe around here, and then selling the top potentially, let's say around here, here, maybe around here. What do the market makers like to do? Well, market makers like to stop retail traders out. That's basically what they did up here with this ascending. They went into a liquidity area full of stops, pushed the price up, then created an ascending channel, squeezed the stops, built their liquidity, built their positions, because market makers always hunt for liquidity. They want to build positions to the upside, to a downside. They want to stop out as much of the retail traders as they can. So that's the game. You want to follow the market makers. The market makers control the market. Retail traders, 95% of them get stopped out because they place their stop loss in the most obvious spots. Okay, so now the market makers have built liquidity up here. They have taken out the stops and they begun selling right here, selling, 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 selling all the way down. I expect this move is not over. I'm looking for a sell entry. I want to follow what the market makers are doing. What I'm looking for is either a flag formation or a nice cream of the crop break and retest. That's my best setup. Those work out like most of the time. When I say most of the time, I mean 50%. That's pretty good for Forex trading, which has usually a lower win rate. So a break and retest or a flag, I'm definitely looking to sell. I have identified where the market makers are pushing the market, and that's my forecast for the Aussie and the US dollar. For the Aussie and the Japanese yen, so for this one, I'm seeing kind of a very similar thing, looking maybe even better. What we saw prior to that is, of course, that huge news candle. We're going to ignore that. Doesn't really concern us. What concerns me is the most recent price action. I don't look at the whole picture. I look at, let's say, the last 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days of price action. That means I'm looking at this part of price. What I can see right here is, of course, an ascending on the top. So basically, the same methodology can be applied here as I just explained on the Aussie and the US dollar. We have a range. Price is ranging. Maybe some people were selling the top of this range. There is a liquidity area here. Market makers have ascended into the liquidity area, taking out people's stops, squeezing them out all the way to the top. Maybe some retail traders were also betting on a reversal here, so they may be sold here, they may be sold here, here. Where do they keep their stops? They keep their stops, of course, above or below the most recent highs. So by that methodology, we could have expected the move down, but I don't trade on expectations. I trade based on evidence. So I need to see a conviction first to a downside. I need to see the market makers commit, and I'm definitely seeing conviction. I'm seeing large momentum down. I'm seeing 3 consecutive large red candles. If you just compare the size of the momentum, compare the size of the candles, they're pretty big. I'm definitely seeing momentum down, and I'm looking to sell. Market makers are clearly selling the Aussie and the Japanese yen. I'm looking to sell on a nice clean entry pattern, which is, of course, a flag, in which case we sell here with a 12 pip stop loss on all of my pairs, 12 pip stop loss. That's what I have back tested with. That's what works. That's what I'm sticking. I'm not changing it for any scenario. You need to keep trading as simple as possible without many variables. You need to trade, well, not like a computer, but all of your processes need to be like a computer, so that there is as little discretion as possible. That's your aim. You want to lower the discretion. Again, there's always going to be some discretion, but we want to lower it. So we want to always have the same stop loss size. So basically, for the flag or for the break and the retest, then I enter on the retest again with a 12 pip stop loss. We shall see what will happen. Currently, it is still forming an impulse to the downside. So that's about it for AJ. The pound. Now on the pound, what I have backtested, so again, sticking only on the 1 hour, currently it's kind of descending. What I have backtested is that the only setups that work for me personally are a large impulse and then a entry formation at the end. So I'm not looking for any small impulses. I'm looking for large momentum to the upside or large momentum to the downside. I'm looking for conviction like this. So large momentum, sorry, my watch is buzzing. Time to check the charts, but I'm checking them with you. So yeah, I check the charts on top of every hour if anyone is interested. As I'm trading only the 1 hour chart, you only need to watch for the candle close. But okay, that's kind of irrelevant. Basically looking for a large impulse down here and then a break and retest or a flag. Maybe some people are saying, well, okay, isn't this a large impulse currently? That I'm seeing, well, not enough for me. With my experience, this on the pound is just not enough of an impulse. I see blue candles here. I see a huge wick on the bottom. Wicks are a big warning sign in the strategy I trade. When I see a wick, alarm goes off, and I'm definitely being a lot more patient with any sort of setups. Also, prior price action, where are we coming from? Are we coming from a trend? Are we coming from a range or an ascending or descending channel? We're coming from a descending channel. That is definitely not something that fits my plan. The best sort of trades come after a trend. So basically, when the price is trending, the best entry is right here. This is coming from crappy price action. I'm not interested. So yeah, looking for a large impulse down or potentially looking for a large impulse to the upside and then a flag or a break and retest. On the pound, I exclusively need to see a large impulse. Otherwise, the trades just fail and they don't work out. So yeah, that's about it for the pound. Kind of a very easy forecast on that particular pair. We're coming on my last one. The last one I trade, that's the New Zealand Japanese yen. As on all of the Japanese pairs, we got this huge move down. So the Japanese central bank news, whichever it is, we don't care. We're only looking at price action. But by identifying the size of the candle, I can see that this is definitely a news candle. I expected for the downtrend to continue. I expected for the selling to actually continue to the downside, but unfortunately it did not. Instead, the price started ranging around, so we got this range, and now it's just kind of stagnating. So basically, we're just in a range. I'm a trend trader. As a trend trader, I don't want to be stuck in a range. Otherwise, I will just get pinged out. I will get stopped out easily. What I'm looking for, as on all of the pairs, I'm looking for large conviction up, or I'm looking for large conviction down, looking for an uptrend or for a downtrend, and then my two entry patterns, which is either a flag or a break and a retest. Let's see how the price will develop. Currently, not expecting much. It's the end of the week. Tomorrow is Friday. Usually Fridays, they can be active, but I personally don't get much trades on Fridays. Next week, as we know, Christmas, New Year's, so momentum is expected to be slow, and the markets aren't expected to make some major moves. Anything can happen. So as we know in the markets, anything can happen. But according to historical data, according to backtesting, usually December is a pretty slow month. So my only two pairs that I'm closely watching right now is the Aussie and the US dollar. So as I just explained, I'm looking for a sell here. And the next one is the Aussie and the Japanese yen, also looking for a sell. Rest of them, I'm leaving alone. I'm looking for a large impulse to the upside or to a downside. So any questions, put them in the comments. And I'm definitely interested. Let me know, guys. So maybe which strategy do you trade on which time frames, or if you have a pair that you want me to take a look, I will of course do my best. So definitely put your questions in the comments. Okay, we'll wait for the questions to build up. Let's go through one setup that is interesting on the US dollar for me to kind of show you what I'm looking for and how the strategy I trade plays out. So basically, this one will be on, I believe it was December. No, it was October. So let's go to October. Okay, right here, maybe you can also like look at how I backtest. So basically, let's go back a few candles even. Let's go back a few candles. So basically, what I'm looking for here, or what I'm identifying currently, is a descending structure. And after a descending structure, I'm looking for a reversal to the upside. If anyone was wondering, this is of course the Aussie and the US dollar. This is the 1 hour chart. So currently identifying a descending channel. What do I expect after a descending channel? Well, I expect the market to reverse in the opposite direction, in this case to the upside. What's the methodology behind it? Well, because the retail traders are probably buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here. And in each of these legs, as the market keeps moving down, they're getting stopped out, basically filling up the liquidity for the market makers. And you can just see how the weak breaks happen. So is the market really trending down? In this case, I wouldn't say so. For me, price is just descending. So the breaks are very, very weak. So basically, it is just breaking, retracing, and leaving huge wicks to the downside. Another clear example of liquidity being built up. Okay, so now we have our descending. Now we expect the price to move to the upside, but I don't just place a buy order because I see a descending structure. I first need to see evidence of a reversal. Next candle prints, definitely evidence of the market makers buying. So just if you compare the size of this candle, you can see it's bigger than everything on the chart in the prior 3 to 5 days. So definitely large momentum to the upside. After descending, I'm expecting for this to start an uptrend, and I'm definitely looking to buy right here. So what happens then? Well, basically, I wait for my entry setup, either a flag or a break and a retest of the most recent high. So let's see what will happen next. Next candle prints, price pulls back a bit. No shift in momentum. I'm not even seeing a red candle here, so that's a very good sign. Next candle prints again, and now I can start to look for my entry setup. I am getting a potential break and a retest. So right here, price paused a bit, broke again. I'm now waiting for it to retest the most recent high. So now I place a pending order right here with a 12 pip stop loss, of course, as on all of the pairs. 12 pip stop loss is what I use. And then just basically wait how the next candle will print. Next candle prints red. Another one takes me in. And then we just wait what will happen. So I don't place a take profit. Another thing I wanted to go over with you guys. So I'm not sure if you're using take profits or not. So I only use a stop loss. And so let me know in the comments, guys, if you're using a take profit or a stop loss. You should always be using a stop loss. That's definitely a must for every single trader. Without the stop loss, you will definitely get burned. So every trader must have a stop loss, especially if you're just beginning. Take profits, that's up to you. But you know that the saying in trading is cut your losses, let your profits run. If you have a fixed take profit, it is hard to let the profits run. That's why I really like the trailing stop loss methodology. So basically, we are moving our stop loss as the price is going up. Now, I will, of course, not be going over in details how I move the stop loss, but I just wanted to give you advice, guys, for your trading strategy, always try a trailing stop loss, see how it does. You can do 2-to-1 risk to rewards. You can do 3-to-1 risk to rewards. Another advice from me is, of course, have a risk to reward that's bigger than 2-to-1, especially in Forex. So you need a risk to reward that's around 2-to-1 or bigger. I recommend as big as possible. So mine is around 5-to-1, but the win rate is lower because of it. Basically, the trailing stop loss gives you a nice risk to reward, but of course, the win rate tends to be a bit lower. So playing the price now. Currently, I have a full 1% risk. Of course, if you're wondering how much I risk per trade, so I basically risk 1% on every single trade, 1% of capital. I would not advise risking any more. So 1% is more than enough. And if you're a beginner, maybe lower it down to 0.5 just to be safe. Again, drawdown can happen, losing streaks can happen, 10 losing trades in a row, 20 losing trades in a row. So I have had 20 losing trades in a row. When I was learning, it can definitely happen. Always don't over risk 1% maximum, even 0.5 if you're a beginner. That's just my advice. But risk management is, of course, very important in trading. We know it's 15% technicals, 15% risk management, and 70% psychology. The 3 key pillars of trading. Okay, enough of the blabbering. So replaying this, moving my stop loss according to my rules. So just pretend the take profit is the stop loss. I keep moving it now right here. And then I get taken out for around 8.2 R on this particular trade. So I got taken out with this candle. I basically moved my stop loss. Once this candle broke the high, I moved it below and got taken out on the next candle for around 8.2 profit. And this is exactly why I recommend for everyone in backtesting to try out a trailing stop loss. If I was just aiming for a 2-to-1, well, I would have lost on this huge move. I very much like banking as much as the market allows me to bank. That's why I like the trailing stop loss. And yeah, it goes with the principles of good trading. And those are, of course, cutting the losses. So a fixed stop loss of 12 pips and letting the winners run. Our take profit is unknown, but almost always it is bigger than 1. So that's kind of about it. Wanted to show you the trailing stop loss and why I actually have a larger risk to reward, and also some advice on how much to actually risk per trade. So let's now take a final look at how the market is developing. Let me just check. Maybe on YouTube there are some comments. Just give me 1 second. Oh, okay, everything is good. Okay, so basically, final look for today. As I said, I check the charts on top of every hour, so we'll do this now because, of course, we're ending the stream. Euro US dollar, range bound, not looking for anything. Euro JPY, again, range bound. I'm not seeing anything either. Aussie US dollar, looking for a sell. So looking for a sell here. Aussie Japanese yen, also looking for a sell. Pound, not enough momentum. I'm being more patient on this pair. And the New Zealand Japanese yen, stuck in a range, so I'm definitely not looking for anything. Okay, let's check gold. Yeah, sure, let's check gold. So let me bring it up. So for gold, again, I don't trade it, but I can give you my opinion on it. I will be going over the 1-hour chart. For gold, I'm seeing some momentum to the downside, so it's not looking that bad. So prior to that, we had consolidation to the upside. I would not count it as an ascending channel. So for me, this is really not ascending. It's kind of just breaking out of a range. So I am liking this impulse to a downside. I also like the size of the candles. So if we just compare them, they're kind of much bigger than the prior price action. So if you just look at the prior price action, much bigger. So, and they are consecutive 3 in a row. That's a very good indication that the market makers are entering the market. Again, do you think that the retail can move the market this much in 3 consecutive hours? They definitely cannot. The retail market makes up of about 2 or 3% of the whole Forex market. For gold is the same case. It's mostly institutions. So this is definitely a market maker in the market. And I would look for a sell here. So I would look for a flag or a break. And the retest is definitely looking like it has potential to go lower. We'll do one more. So CAD JPY, sure. FXCM, okay. Yeah, so for CAD JPY, it's looking like the rest of the Japanese pairs. It's looking the same as EJ and NJ. Basically, for me, stuck in a range, I would not touch it with a stick, to be honest. I would just leave it alone. I would leave it to play out. It's looking very range bound. I would look for a flag or a break and retest. Same thing to the upside, a flag or a break and retest. I would definitely wait for a large momentum up or large momentum down. My advice, be a lot more patient on this pair. Okay, last one. Yeah, sure, we can look at NZD CAD, but that has to be our last one since the time is kind of running out. So NZD CAD, FXCM. This one I also do not trade, but I do have a bit of backtesting experience on, so I have been backtesting this one a bit. To be honest, I'm expecting a reversal here. So from my pure price action standpoint, I'm seeing a nice defined descending channel. And what I would expect is for the price to reverse to the upside. Of course, that is the methodology. The retail is buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here. They are getting stopped out in each of these legs. What I would need to wait is, of course, evidence that the market makers are ready to push the price up. They need to see a large impulse to the upside, a flag or a break and retest. But again, a large impulse. So yeah, for me, currently, I would be not looking for a sell or a buy. I would be looking for evidence of a large push up and then my entry setup. So that's about it. I believe we have gone over everything. So thank you guys very much for watching. Again, thank you A1 Trading for the opportunity. Hope to see you again. And yeah, enjoy your day. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, of course.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember to check the description below if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a trading community to join. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.